Hi guys, welcome back. Thanks again for watching. This one is a good one today. This is a video that a lot of the times I make videos because I need answers for issues or whatever that I am looking for in makeup or sunscreen or skincare. And then I'm like, I think other people would probably want to know this too. So this is just me sharing it with you guys and I hope you enjoy it. Before we get going, of course, like always, I ask you to like and subscribe. You can also dislike it. I don't really care. Engagement is engagement and it helps my channel. So that said, let's get going and I will tell you the fun Dana fact of the day. Okay, so the fun Dana fact of the day is kind of related to my hair today. It's like weird colors. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's just my monitor, but my hair is naturally curly. And I don't tend to wear it curly that often, mainly because I don't have like the kind of curly that I want. You know, the grass is always greener. But what I did this year was I got a keratin treatment and it makes it so my hair is just so much more manageable. And this is just air dried and then, well, not air dried. I went to bed with it wet and then I woke up and it was kind of like this. And then I put a little bit of like product in just to make it less frizzy. Okay, let's jump in now. So, did you see what's on my eyes? Very pretty shadow. This is a new shadow. I actually have 3 new kind of liquid, kind of cream, kind of interesting just shadows in general. And the first one that I'm going to be talking about is the Kosas one. I have mentioned this in my monthly favorites. I will link that above because it is just one of my very favorites. Look at this though. Look at how liquidy it is. So this is called the 10-second eyeshadow and it's 100% 10 second. It's very quick, very easy. I actually am preferring this kind of shadow to a powder or even like, I love my eye wands, but they're just more of a cream format. And I feel like it does take a little bit longer with these. Not saying that I don't love them, but this is truly like 10 second. You put it on, you're ready to go, like you're done. And that's what I liked in life. But I have found not only a dupe for it, but also something that kind of works a little bit maybe easier. So without making you guys wait till the very end of the video, I have the Pixi, what are they called? I think they're called EyeLift Max. So they are very similar, not the same though. And let's see how much they have in them. So we've got 0.2 ounces, 0.12. So you're getting double the amount in the Kosas that you are in the Pixi. So it's actually the exact same price. So the Kosas is 28 and these are 14, but when you break it down in terms of the amount, you are paying the exact same amount. The only thing is, I think most people probably aren't going to use up the entire package. So in my opinion, like, this is a pretty good deal. And, you know, you might want this one though, if you're into like the clean beauty space. So the Pixi comes in 6 shades, the Kosas comes in 8 shades. So they are kind of funky shades, more so especially in the Kosas than these. But they do have some pretty wearable neutrals as well. Okay, so I am going to do some swatches for you and just show you what they kind of look like when applied. So starting off with the Kosas, you do have to shake it. Like I showed you before, it is like straight liquid. Can you see that? Yeah. And it's also, like I mentioned in my other video, which I will link above, if you are not careful, you will just pour this out because there's no way to stop it from coming out. So just be very careful when applying it. There is the Kosas. The Pixi, which is a pretty good dupe. This one is called, the shade is Mocha. And then the Pixi shade in Sunset. So as you can see, the Kosas one is the top one. It's definitely got a little bit, well, a lot more glitter. And it's more of kind of like a light brownish, kind of almost rose gold though. And then we have the Mocha, which is more of a brown shade. And then we have Sunset, which is kind of my skin tone, but with like a little peachy in it. So Kosas calls these watercolors for your eyes. What does Pixi call them? Pixi doesn't have anything that fancy. They just say extreme long wear liquid shadow, leaves a smooth veil of flattering color that can be worn solo or layered. So Kosas gets the leg up on marketing. But in terms of like the wearability, I think they're all pretty wearable. Now I do want to show you what these look like blended out. So I'm going to do swatches with those as well. You have to go in pretty quickly with almost all of them, but they don't have fallout, so that's nice. And as you can tell, when I start blending out, this is the Kosas. Look at the difference. This one is also the Kosas at the top, but it looks very glittery, whereas here it's just kind of a wash of color. And it does have reflex, as you see when I turn my arm. Next up, Pixi and Mocha. I'm left-handed, so this is hard in my right hand. Look at that though. Looking very, very similar when blended out. And last up, Sunset. So this one I've noticed you do have to go over a little bit more. You need a bit more pigment, just because it is a light shade. So I go over a few times before blending. And that one blends out almost into nothing. Okay, so now that we have our swatches, you can see how similar they all look. Well, especially like the two darker shades, and how really they are quite a dupe. I don't typically wear the Kosas like that without blending it out, but it could be interesting. Maybe you do like on top, like as a topper. But the most important part of this video that I think is helpful for you guys is the Kosas one is a little tricky. The Pixi one's pretty self-explanatory. You saw they go on. This one is just very light on my skin tone, so it would probably be best on lighter than me skin tones. But I like it because it's a very kind of neutral one for me. So the problem with the Kosas is this comes off just pretty much just by touching it. So you don't have to rub a lot. I am getting some on my finger if you can see that. Whereas once the Pixi ones, once they set, they're pretty much there. I wouldn't say that they're the most long lasting, even though the website says that they are. The problem with the Kosas though is it really does just leave your eye. And if you have any like amount of watery eyes or like oilier eyelids, I would say it's probably going to be gone in a matter of hours. Even if you have drier ones, I just feel like the payoff is not there hours later. But if you do this, it will be. So I have two things that will help it. I have either my primer, which is the Nars Smudge Proof Primer. I have it in the shade Medium, or I have a concealer. This is just the Kosas Revealer Concealer in the shade 4. So what I have been doing is, either way works. I have been putting on some of the primer. This is a lot. This Nars one, you don't need a ton. Also, yeah, I understand I have bruises and like cuts. I don't know why. It just happens. So I will go in with the primer. You can't really see it because it's kind of my skin tone. And then go on top of it with the Kosas. And you can blend it out. Obviously you could leave it as is, but I will blend it out for the sake of this video. And as a primer does, it really holds the shadow on. I will also show you with the concealer. Let's cover maybe a bruise. How about that? So your payoff is going to be kind of the same. I would let the concealer dry more. This is such a weird angle. I'm sorry. There you go. Trying to cover that bruise. I would let the concealer dry. The eyeshadow base does a really good job of setting immediately, but even as you can see, they both pretty much look the same. And this is what they look like without it. So the whole point of this video is these are great, great, great shadows. I've been wearing them non-stop, like cannot get enough of them. And I know I got two that are pretty much the same, but you know, hey, we do what we do. We're crazy because we like the same colors. But the whole point is, if you have a concealer, they work just as well as the eyeshadow base. I think the eyeshadow base is gonna make things last a little bit longer and it sets down a lot quicker than my concealer. But if you have a concealer that you know you love, you don't need to go out and buy something new. If you are in the market, this is a great eyeshadow base. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And it works really great under all of these. I also sometimes do the base under the light shade, the sunset shade, just because otherwise I have a little bit more discoloration on my eyes. So it just preps my eyes again. So that's it. We're going to keep it nice and short and sweet. And if you have been having troubles with either of these, but probably the Kosas more than anything, I hope that this really simple technique helps you. I know sometimes you just don't think about it. Like me, I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Like, duh. So this is my gift to you, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.